Our last searcher returns. I'm afraid the Aureus is no longer had the crystal, nor was able to find it as I followed its wake. Here you go. I found it. I'm godlike. The crystal, well done. Now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? Traveling and searching go hand in hand. You travel often then, it seems we have something in common. Long ago when I held the seat of Azim, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or a new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinions sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is, the way one thing leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I return to the stolen property. You would go ahead on my accommodation. I will join you as soon as I have attended to that task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building, the top of the slope. I have an entire place to myself. You can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Welcome to my temporary abode. Please make yourself at home while I put on some tea. Oh, if you want to tug at my heartstrings, just play Answers. Very easy.
A wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
How much am I about to give away? Mankind is being forced to flee the star.
Why don't you start from the beginning? Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Venat?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hydaelyn? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future, whence she came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True. I note also that Hydaelyn did not specify a point in time to which she must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any, but we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hydaelyn is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable?
That's what I'm saying, Emmett Silk. I need you to answer this question for me, damn it.
Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emmett Selk! Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
Dynamis is the key to all of this.
Ah yes, the energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of Dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteion? Yes, I believe this warrants further investigation. With that settled, it is time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. Now suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If Emmett Selk is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
He's a bit of a soon, you'll have to forgive him. Acquainted with Hermes, of course, only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. The man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. I suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals, observers who live here. Really tell us more of Hades and Meteion. Good idea where I might begin. See the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Ismene. She's the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis. From what I recall, she has held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she could provide us with some insights. Go ask your questions. I will help with trying out answer if need be. I leave the choice of topic up to you. Interesting. Greetings, Ismene. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes and is wondering if you might indulge her. Certainly, Mrs. Venat. Anything to be of service. What do you wish to know? What kind of person is Hermes? I can only answer from my own experience, but I would describe him as a quiet man. Reserved, you might say. Occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. The man is a walking archive when it comes to the life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail. The leading authority on concepts with the power of flight. I hope that answers your question. Is there anything else? How long has Meteion been here? Cannot rightly say. As the chief's personal creation, Meteion has not been subjugated to observation and study like other concepts. One day she was simply there. What do you make of her abilities? I understand that she is highly unusual familiar, able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies. I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I have not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. Do you wish you knew him better? Chief may not be the most gregarious individual, but he engages with us as necessary for everyone to perform the duties. I didn't want to intrude upon his privacy for the sake of curiosity. If you wish to learn more about Meteon, you could try speaking with Timaeus, another expert on the creation of flying concepts. He should be conducting his observation on the banks of the stream somewhere to the east. Unless you take particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. Taking enough of her time, let's go. What is it you wish to speak about? True, you're an expert on flying creations. Fellow enthusiasts, are you? Settle in, we can discuss the finer points of this fascinating craft. Miles launches into raveling ensemble discourse. What sets the chief's creations apart, however, is how they benefit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Earths that climb so high they disappear from view. Others which traverse the boundless skies of moments, all without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive such marvels. Even we who prize elegance, a form above all else, are dumbfounded by his genius. Meteon too is a marvel then? My opinion on the matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Meteon as a concept, I have never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Meteon's concept to the Bureau of the Architect, then will the design be registered for public? Then the design will be registered for public scrutiny, analyzing a colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. If it came to me, a fellow artisan looking for advice, that would be an entirely different story. You know of Dynamis and Entelekes. Dynamis and Entelekes? Those terms sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Elpis which exhibited properties of one or the other? Must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Why bring up the subject? I'm flattered that you sought my insight. I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. Must really return to my observations. So no one actually understands this girl. I'm starting to get the sinking feeling that Meteon might be related to all of this. Good timing, I finished my own investigations not long ago. Any findings to share? Even an expert in the field has little understanding of Meteon's abilities, or capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. My questions resulted in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Meteon as his personal project, but provide no details beyond those which you just told me. Which leads me to believe the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions. Witness to the spectacle. At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis and the intellects which can control it. Yet most scholars are vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth, except for Hermes, it seems. Thus, I'm inclined to stay our current course and learn all we can about the chief overseer and his familiar. On that subject, was there aught else of note you can tell me about Meteon? Aside from her unorthodox method of communication, the intercessors were created to journey to the stars searching for intelligent life. I rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? These siblings of hers now travel the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Though the mystery at hand remains unresolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one we should keep in mind as we continue. Take ourselves to Peripetia Crystalline, not far from here. Just follow the path west. This tower and the one further along are both part of the Peripetia Crystalline, a facility where they archive all of Elpis's observationals and teaching records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magically interconnected spaces. While fascinating, it's not the reason we are here, is it? I should cut my architectural lesson short. See what they have. I shall join you here anon. I'll find someone to speak with over at the other tower. You have a question for me? Certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. Alright. What does he wish to speak to me about? Chief Overseer's personal research project, and by that I assume you mean Mithion? Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes past without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Mithion appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Ghislaine shared with me. Ghislaine is my partner, a fellow researcher here at Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Mithion heavensward, a host of them. Several days she would speak of that scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she had ever witnessed. Sounds like a story I should like to hear. Mistress Venat, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Contribution to our concept placement proposal? Do not mention it. As you say, my original plan was to leave after that task. I've since become engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. Telling of this sight which so delighted your Ghislaine. Hear it from her lips directly if you prefer. Hey, yo, Ghislaine! At present, she should be observing the subject in Metabasos Thalasi. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters, the world's oceans, recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Venat. Such pursuits must continually and regretfully delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. 'Tis a rest well deserved and long overdue, I should think. How greatly we have prospered with the wisdom of your accumulation. The wisdom you accumulated during your travels as Asm. What would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? Theories that you developed served the basis of many techniques still used today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embodies nature as much endearing passion as you. Not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I will be honored. Shall we take this opportunity to meet with Ghislaine in person? Allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. I will take you up to the skyway, spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. Most helpful, thank you. Just passing through, allow me to prepare a path if you need further assistance. There's always an observer or two out on the upper skyway. Beautiful.
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view.
Shit's on texture.
What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place?
As beautiful as ever.
I swear I could hear the glimmer in your eyes and the adoration in your voice. While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures? Well, not the portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans. But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveler. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account.
She's still an adventurer too. I'm like, who does this?
Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it. Yours is a harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, your brethren hold fast to their virtue. To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart. Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word. As you know, I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world. What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? Whence sprung mankind? Riddles and mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them. Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us. Born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity. When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined,
It could be done.
A passion swelled within me. An epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true. And a presence without. Immense, yet intimate. Fate, perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace. As reassuring as it was intimidating. How keenly aware I became of creation's fragility, built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately, to hear its voice, feel its breath. I ventured forth on a journey that very day. So very long ago now.
Hear its voice, huh?
Freed from presumption and prejudice, I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new, and so beautiful. Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning, and my purpose. My love. And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star. Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. The moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way. You, who are our future, tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
How could I answer that yet? I want to say yes now, but...
Pray forgive my lateness. My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteon. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation. As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone, like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling.
This sounds like... Lisa's voice actor.
But then another shot up, then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteon, the Metea, rather. There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
A dazzling spectacle indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Oh, yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests. It shouldn't be long now, though. He often returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
That might be it.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls. Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link...
Please.
Accidentally skipped that early, but yeah. If so, I shall link the door. Please. Another piece of the puzzle falls into place. What we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others. Someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. We have no reason to suspect the former, and we should consider the latter more likely a possibility. Proceeding on the assumption that our next step should be to divine why, or even if, he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. Selective is the site from which Hermes sent forth the Matea. We are fortunate we might find some hint of what drives this research of his. Spotted him to the southeast, rising from an isle she could see from the edge. We stand from the same vantage point. It should not prove too difficult to locate the isle in question. Let's take a look. I would not be down to find out that Meteon's evil. Uncool, bro. Especially because Meteon's such a good girl. I don't see how she would do any of that. I guess we are getting a story. We just came off a storyline about this man giving too many chances for things that shouldn't have been given a chance. The whole fucking... The Lycans needed to die because they were too aggressive. As much as he wanted them to live, it was like, no, 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 dude. Things need to die. It's like, there's a reason why we do this process, and he's doing something without the process to it. So, I'm sussing out that maybe this untracked research he's doing might be the end of him and all things that are supposed to be. Man's got the fucking robe and the eye patch and the haircut. For conducting some mystery research, where would I go? That aisle over there. Have you means to fly? 'Tis quite a distance away. A convenient but hardly insurmountable problem. To me, Argos. My friend, would you mind creating a double to carry Rhett over here to that island? Stubborn creature. There's no place on this great star we have not together traveled. He still remains obstinate in the presence of strangers. Argos has rather exacting standards, I'm afraid. You've ridden him before? Ah, before meaning my after. At all confusing that. It's interesting to certainly not unthinkable. You can hear now, the quick solution is for us to face off in a sparring match. Demonstrate to him that you are capable of holding your own against me in a battle. Should convince Argos that you are worthy of his back. Besides, I might even teach you a thing or two in the bargain. Seemed doubtful, but useful lesson or not, it will certainly be a moment to remember. A memory of the distant past to cherish. What say you, traveler out of time? Choose your battlefield. I've got these sage weapons. I'm gonna beat you up. Guess we're doing this. They really gave this a unique song for here. Damn, what the fuck? This is hitting.
Let neither side hold back.
All right. Playos. A raid wide. I feel like this is info.
My blade sings!
Had a feeling. True blink. Extra flyers, huh?
My blade sings!
Don't mind me, just keeping my uptime, madam.
Impressive. I shall have to try something different.
Cancer weapons?
No quarter. Have a taste.
Oh, bother. With outbounding? Oh god, that's so slow. Got it. Hang out here.
I see you won't be easily overcome, but neither will I.
A healer. She's throwing fucking stones. Look at this. Hey, look at her. She's throwing fucking.
Prepare yourself.
Doing good enough. Stone for. Ah. I just need to be out of the middle long enough. God bless, this is a private instance. And all the...
Very well. Let us move to the final trial.
Trial? She's like LBing actually. This is like a remix of the old Shadowlands leitmotif. Also. Sorry, gal. No Aether for you.
Break your chains, shed your burdens, and show me your strength of will!
What the fuck? Fucking idiot.
The people of your time are more resilient than I had dared hope. I have seen enough.
That's a good track. I love that.
'Twas my intent to finish it, but clearly I underestimated you. One would think I never learn. I made the same mistake with Azem when we first sparred. Despite being less than half my age, her strength was astounding.
Are you implying that that shit is just me?
As is yours. 'Tis plain you have weathered considerable hardship. Far more even than your tales would suggest. It seems we have both learned much on our journeys. Well now, I dare say he has warmed to you. A boon to be sure. He never forgets his favorites, and is ever eager to come to their aid.
Doge. We are friends now.